I can't believe we're still making videos about this guy in trade rumors. It's been like a year already. I think we've sort of circulated throughout the entire NHL talking about this player on this team, that team, the other team, another team. Like, we've made videos talking about Jake Chychrun of the Arizona Coyotes getting traded everywhere pretty much because this guy has been in the rumor sphere for so long, and even though the Arizona Coyotes have been doing this thing where they're trading away all of these future considerations and everything to get younger assets and get prospects, etc., they still haven't traded Chychrun away, even though he has been probably their most valuable trade piece in the past little while that they've been kind of going through this pattern. So today we're going over yet another Jake Chychrun trade rumor, this time linking him with another team, the Ottawa Senators, and just going over some discourse that has been circulating throughout Senators Twitter because I thought it would be interesting to bring up here on the channel. So, just in case you need a little bit of a news flash or a news update as to Jake Chychrun and the profile he has, 24 years old, 6'2", 209, a left-handed defenseman signed till the end of 2025, making $4.6 million a season. He doesn't have any trade protection right now, and he's got a modified no-trade clause that kicks in 2023-2024. This is a guy who, a few years ago, had 18 goals in 56 games played for 41 total points on the season, a year which actually saw him lead the entire NHL defenseman class in goals. This recent season, he took a step back because he was no longer the number one power play option, that honor belonged to Shane Gostisbehere, and his production dipped as a result. He had 21 points in 47 games played, only 7 goals on the season too. And as we said, the number one power play position on the team was being taken up by somebody else, so you could definitely understand why the production was not as potent this year. But at the end of the day, if you give Jake Chychrun the opportunity to be a number one top pairing defenseman on your team, he's going to show up and he's going to do pretty all right. Playing for Arizona last season, it was a pretty bad team, so you could understand that, hey, this guy being a top goal guy amongst all defenders while playing in Arizona, that's a pretty good feat. And with the Arizona Coyotes going through this rebuild, getting younger players, getting younger assets and picks and all that, you could understand why Jakob Chychrun was involved in all the trade rumors because, hey, they really wanted a haul, they really wanted to go long-term and go, screw the present, we're only going for the future. Trading away Jakob Chychrun could probably net you some pretty significant assets. And because that's been the situation for a while, we have had Jakob Chychrun trade rumors for a while as well. I feel like we were talking about Chychrun around the same time we were talking about Pierre-Luc Dubois the first time around. Like, it's been that long, I feel. And so today we're going over the Ottawa Senators and talking about how they could involve themselves in this discussion because even though we have seen Chychrun trade rumors to other teams, I feel like Ottawa has always sort of been in the background, but with a few tweets made over the past few weeks, I wanted to talk about Ottawa in this video, and it all starts out with a conversation done by Sean Simpson on August 10th. The feeling is that Jakob Chychrun will get moved before training camp. The Sens are in the mix with other clubs, but the ask is still ridiculously high. It's smart that Pierre Dorion is being patient, so let's see how it plays out. And so, one NHL insider, host of TSN 1200 Radio, is going out there and saying that the Sens are indeed in the mix for Chychrun still. Let's go back over to a Twitter thread done by Mark Mathot. Yes, I'm pretty sure everybody remembers Mark Mathot. This is from a month ago, so July 29th, 2022. Random Senators news. I still like the idea of going after Jakob Chychrun. I know for an absolute fact he would come here and he would be excited. He likes the moves and the direction of the team. Credits to Sens offseason. You want your top 4 guy? His numbers are solid despite playing where he has. He's got a lot of mileage left. He's young. He's a solid puck mover and can likely play with just about anybody. He has my endorsement as well. Here are his stats in terms of goals and games played, 4th amongst NHL defenders from 2019 to 2021-2022, combined in those last 3 seasons. Also, in terms of goals per 60, he is 5th amongst NHL defenders in the last 3 seasons. Power play goals, he is tied for 5th for all defensemen who played a minimum of 20 minutes per game in the last 3 seasons. And so, one NHL insider in Sean Simpson is saying, yeah, the Sens are involved in these conversations, they're still in it, and Mark Method himself is saying that Jakob Chychrun would be a very good fit in Ottawa and this would actually work out. He is endorsing Chychrun pretty well with this Twitter thread over here. And so, when it comes to the idea of Chychrun heading over to Ottawa, the big conversation brings itself up as to what the heck the Sens could give Arizona that the Coyotes would actually say yes to. Now, I don't know how accurate information from like a year ago should be in this context, especially considering all the other trades that have already been made for other top-tier players in the NHL, but back when the Jake Chychrun trade rumor started up, we had ourselves an idea that says that, hey, the Arizona Coyotes asking price would be something in the territory of a first-round pick that would probably be a high one, a young prospect that is in the A tier, as well as an NHL-caliber defenseman coming back that actually would fill in those minutes and be pretty good himself. Now, of course, if you're Ottawa, you're not trading for Chychrun and sending over a package of a first, a top prospect, and then another defenseman that is somewhat in the same caliber of a Chychrun, like a Chabot or what a Sanderson could be or whatever. You're probably looking to get quote-unquote better with a trade like this. And so, the ultimate question is, what the heck do the Ottawa Senators give up? This is a post on the Sens subreddit by Mr. Adrift. If you're being realistic about a Chychrun trade, these are the only untouchables. Any other names you can add to this list, you're just looking through the lens of a fan. According to Mr. Adrift, the only untouchables are Brady Tkachuk, Josh Norris, Drake Batherson, Tim Stützle, Claude Giroux, Alex DeBrincat, Thomas Chabot, and Jake Sanderson. And so it means that guys like Artem Zub, for example, are not untouchable. Shane Pinto is not untouchable. You have prospects like Ridley Gregg thrown in there. And if you try to correlate this to what we thought the trade proposal should have looked like a year ago, you're looking at a package of maybe like a Ridley Gregg plus a first-round pick, and then a player like Artem Zub, for example. There's an entire argument going over here as to whether or not Zub should be considered in a Jakob Chychrun trade, because if you're going out there to improve your decor, trading away a guy like Zub would take away some significant depth, and as a result, Chychrun coming in would make your decor stacked up top, but the rest of the lineup would still be somewhat subpar. But at the end of the day, if you're going out there and swapping Chychrun for Zub, and you're just replacing that on your team, you know, the first-round pick and Ridley Gregg or whatever prospect they are offering, that's not going to be an immediate addition to your team, you are getting better in that respect. However, I could totally understand that you probably still would need to go out there and find another top 4 defenseman, so it kind of goes both ways, doesn't it? But at the end of the day, if you're an Arizona Coyotes fan, talk to me in the comments all your ideas as to what you would want from the Ottawa Senators, because this is a team that, even though we have made a whole bunch of videos about Jakob Chychrun in the past, we've never actually talked about Chychrun with this team in particular. So, this opens the door up to more conversation. If you're a Sens fan, then hey, let me know in the comments what it is you would feel comfortable with in trading to Arizona for Jakob Chychrun, and what that kind of trade would look like. I would assume no Chabot, no Sanderson, you guys are keeping onto those guys, you're keeping Tkachuk, you're keeping Norris and all them, but when it comes to your top prospects, hey, is Ridley Gregg really the guy that you feel like you would be able to send over in an Ottawa Senators Jakob Chychrun trade? Or is it somebody else that you kind of have a little bit more faith in, like a Tyler Boucher or an Ostapchuk? Are you talking about Roby Yarvanty? Are you talking about Lassie Thompson? Shane Pinto is still in that conversation, I feel, mostly because he hasn't really broken in yet, although I do feel like that is on the horizon soon. I personally would want to keep Shane Pinto for as long as you're able to, but I mean, if I'm coming from the perspective of the Arizona Coyotes, I'm doing everything I can, banging the table hard to try to get Shane Pinto on my team alongside of that first-round pick and whatever other defenseman is there. But that's just my opinion, though. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about Jakob Chychrun, any sort of Coyotes and Ottawa Senators trade that would send Chychrun over to the Sens. It's actually kind of wild when you consider the fact that this team already added DeBrincat, they already added Claude Giroux, and now they're in the mix for Jake Chychrun as well. Ay, this team is going to be scary fast. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Juraj, 99, and bye.